winning goal. It's taken down. Referee playing a good advantage for Spurs. It's to be fouled. Oh, save. That's going on to have a crack. He is, you know. Oh, I say. Messi. Oh, brilliant skill from Lionel Messi. Surging forward with real menace here. Brilliant from Messi. Oh, what a goal that is!
Yeah, it's good afternoon. Savva here from Football Heritage TV, joined by Strasbourg Steve, the man of many shirts, but superior football knowledge to the rest of us. Steve, how you doing, mate? You all right?
I'm all right, man. I'm just chilling. I'm chilling. Yeah, good weekend ahead. Looking forward to the footy as always.
Yeah, well, man, I mean, listen, don't sound too excited about it, Steve. You know, it's all right, man. It's going to be okay. Look, there are a number of games today. A number of games this weekend to look forward to. We're going to get into them. But, I mean, if we take a little snapshot at the games that are going to be taking place this weekend, you know, we'll talk about them in detail. But you've got Nottingham Forest at home tonight against Sheffield United. Fulham home to Brentford in a London derby. Liverpool in their first home game to Bournemouth, Wolves, Brighton, Spurs, Man U, the 5:30 kickoff on Saturday night, followed by the 8 o'clock game, Man City at home to Newcastle, which should be mouthwatering. Then, if we look a tiny bit further down, you will see that there are two games on Sunday, which are Aston Villa at home to Everton, West Ham at home to Chelsea in the 4:30 kickoff, and then a London derby on Monday night for Crystal Palace versus Arsenal. Steve, just quickly before we get into those games and predictions, what did you think about the opening weekend of games? Lots of people I've been speaking to saying they felt a little bit let down by the Premier League in weekend one, that there wasn't that much drama, not that much action. Did you feel that way? Is it just the kind of opening game, everyone's not at it type of vibe?
I mean, we were at it.
Yeah. Newcastle were at it, yeah.
We were at it. I mean, Man City, Burnley was kind of what you expected. Burnley had some chances they probably could have put away. Arsenal Forest was interesting, not in terms of the quality, just in the fact that Nottingham Forest decided to literally play football up into at the 80th minute pretty much. And then all of a sudden it was like Arsenal were in deep trouble. That Awaniwi sub proves why he should have been starting in the first place, to be honest. But other than that, Bournemouth West Ham was all right. I watched that. I watched Brighton Luton. Scoreline would suggest it was not a close game, but it actually kind of was. Luton gave it a good go. They just got some defensive issues that are easily fixable, in my opinion. So I think they'll actually be all right. Fulham, Everton. Everton actually played better, to be honest. Fulham got the goal. Crystal Palace, Sheffield United, meh. Newcastle, Aston Villa, obviously terrific. The game in the first 20 minutes was back and forth. The Mings injury kind of messed everything up. Brentford, Spurs was a decent game first half. Second half, it was kind of you guys just trying to break down Brentford. Chelsea, Liverpool was all right. And then Man United, Wolves was, Man United were terrible, but it was all right. If I had to rate it out of 10, it's like a 6.5.
6.5. Okay, well, let's look at these games. Before we do, big up to a few people. Vinny Rowley is in the chat. Big up to you. Strasbourg Steve is not only in the chat, he's also in the studio. Mark Cook, Lyle King, Artie Football, THFC Brown, Rock, who is also a channel member, Lyle King again, Mark Cook, Ian Satwick, who's always in the house, Alex Dunlop, Rinketic Sport Agenda, who's also a channel member, TGIK, Snipes, Mark Cook saying, yo, Savva and Steve, big up. Joseph O'Hanlon's in the chat. Yuvraj is in the chat. Please smash the like button on your way in, people. It's always nice. It really does help. There's 168 people, only 23 likes. Smash that like button. And as always, as you know by now, we're well en route to our 10K. We are 74 away from the big 10K. So smash that subscribe button if you can. Steve, let's talk about the opening game of the weekend. The opening game of the weekend is tonight, and it is Nottingham Forest versus Sheffield United. It's a strange one because over here in the UK, normally when a game's on a Friday night, it's on TV, and this one's not televised. Nottingham Forest, Sheffield United. Nottingham Forest lost their opening game away at Arsenal. Sheffield United. What did Sheffield United do last week? You'll know.
Lost 1-0 to Palace. Not a very exciting game.
Lost 1-0 to Palace. So both teams coming off the back of a defeat. Both teams will be looking for a win tonight. What are we making of this? Forest versus Sheffield United.
I'm just interested. Both these teams don't like having possession, really. Both of them like to hit on the break. So maybe that, you know what's funny? Sometimes we have these games. I notice it a lot with Atletico Madrid games that they're playing, a La Liga team that likes to hit on the counter. It actually, you would think, oh, they just sit back and it's nothing exciting. Think about it. They both like going on the break. So one of them is going to be defending, which they like to do, and then the other team. So to be fair, it might be a decent game. Apparently, it's got some needle in it from some previous championship games. I didn't know about that, but it's got some needle in it, I guess. Right. But yeah, it should be decent. In terms of like the standout players, I like Brennan Johnson. I really like Awoniyi. I think he's solid. I think he needs to work on goal scoring though, obviously. But in terms of just his profile, like what he can offer, definitely a player. I think it's pretty quality, but
do you worry about these two teams for this season? I mean, Nottingham Forest came up last year, spent, as we know from all our streams with Dave, spent a lot of money. They've spent some money again, just put in a bid for Fofana of Monaco.
Yusuf Fofana.
Have Forest got enough to stay up again? Is there a danger that Brennan Johnson's going to be lost and that's a big miss for them? What do you make of Nottingham Forest?
That would be a big miss, definitely. But they still got guys that I can trust to score. Awoniyi being one. Emmanuel Dennis. There's still something in that guy, I think. Morgan Gibbs-White as well. I think he's excellent. It's just about the depth on the bench is the real problem. Like it's cool to have Chris Wood on the bench if you want to change up the game, and all that. But it's not exactly like a top quality player. None of them really are for Forest, but I mean, I don't really worry about Forest because I think there are worse teams than them, and I think in terms of like the roster as well, I like a lot of the Forest players for like their level. Like Danilo's a very good player. Can also
like him.
Wing.
Yeah,
Chiku Koyate is not spectacular, but he does the job. Froyla's all right. They got some all right players. Yates had a pretty decent game against Arsenal. And then I like Aurier, Felipe, Niakate, Draga, Boli. Boli actually had a good game as well. Willy Boli, the tall center back for Forest. He actually had a good game against Arsenal, all things considered. Same with Olaina. Olaina only got skinned once or twice off Saka, but he stuck to him real well. So I think I'm not really worried about Forest. No. Sheffield United, completely different side.
I worry about them. I just look at their team, and also I feel like they've just lost their best player in Sander Berge. Whenever I watch Sheffield United in the past, Sander Berge looks brilliant. They just sold him to Burnley, a rival who literally just got promoted with them. I mean, for me, this game's got sort of like Friel written all over it. I don't think either of them are that great at anything. I'm going to go with a Friel.
Wow.
For this game,
I'm saying 2-1 Forest. Forest were pretty reliable at home last year. They even beat Arsenal. They beat Chelsea, if I'm not mistaken. They also, everyone was beating Chelsea, to be fair. What did they do against you guys? I think they lost both, right? Yeah, they lost. Forest against Spurs.
Yeah.
You did the double over them, but they did well at home. That's what ultimately kept them up, and that's what you need as a recently promoted team or a team battling relegation. The home form will keep you up usually. So,
absolutely.
I'm going 2-1 Forest, I think.
Okay, 2-1 Forest. I'm going to go with Friel. Let us know in the chat what score are we going for before we move on to the Saturday games. What score are we going for, people? I've gone with Friel just for something different, and I do think it's imperative that Nottingham Forest keep Awoniyi fit for this season. He made such a huge difference at the end of last season. El Dante has said Forest will win. I want you to score 15 plus
If they
this
played it with
season.
strengths, Steve Cooper's not a bad manager. I think there's easily that kind of production out of him. Definitely.
Yeah.
I've been a fan of him when he was at Union Berlin. They played 2 up top though, and they did play on the counter as well. So that I don't know. I just feel like with Steve Cooper sometimes is a bit too conservative for my liking. But I feel like tonight he's going to be like, you know what? We can't mess around. So.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Well, look, let's move on then. The next game is the first of the Saturday games.
Yeah.
It is the sorry, I was going to say it's a 12 o'clock kickoff. It's not. Apologies. The first of the 3 o'clock kickoffs. Gone are the days where you'd have 8 or 9 games on at 3 o'clock. There's only 3 at 3 o'clock tomorrow.
Yeah.
Fulham at home to Brentford. Obviously, Brentford drew their first game at home to to Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah.
Fulham won 1-0 away at Everton, 1-0. I don't know about you, but even watching Fulham in pre-season, I'm always impressed by how organized they are.
Yes.
No superstars in the team, but they look organized. They work hard. The back four looks well drilled. They've managed to keep hold of players like Willian. Mitrovic has gone, though. What do you think about this game? Fulham at home to Brentford, 2 very well-drilled sides.
I think I'm going to go 2-0 Brentford just because I think Brentford have what it takes to shut them down. I agree with you about Fulham. I actually watched both these teams in preseason here in the States. Was really impressed, particularly Brentford, because they look comfortable in all phases of play. Frank is one of those managers where he doesn't have a nailed down philosophy. He's more of a guy like a pragmatist. He gets the most out of his players, and he suits kind of the game plan to the opponent. He exposes their weaknesses. You're one of the things that Postecoglou and Spurs might struggle with this year is breaking down low blocks. What did Brentford do second half? Low block. Try to hit on the counter. So. Look, I think Brentford are a very flexible side for me. I like a lot of their players are pretty decent as well. So I think Brentford. I got them probably 2-0 just because I think they can keep Fulham quiet.
2-0 away, going for a 2-0 away win.
Yeah. But I think last year this fixture, if I take a look real quick at what happened last year, I want to say it was like a 3-3 draw away or something stupid like that. It was so it was 3-2 Brentford and then 3-2 Fulham at their home grounds. And then in preseason, I watched them. It was 3-2 Fulham. So actually, you know what? I'm changing my mind. Damn it. I'm going 3-2 Fulham.
3-2 to Fulham.
3-2, 3-2, 3-2. Those are the past 3 meetings.
Wow.
Written in there.
I'll ask this question, though. I'll ask the question to you. I'll ask it to everyone in the chat as well. By the way, please keep smashing that like button, people. It's nice and simple to do. Where are Fulham getting their goals from? Now, I'm not saying Mitrovic is a 25, 30 goal Premier League striker, but his 14, 15 goals goes a long way towards helping keep a team up. Where are they going to get their goals from?
I think it's a case of just like Postecoglou at Spurs is going to come. It's going to have to come from the wings. It's going to have to come from midfield. It's going to be a team effort. And Marco Silva, like you said, he's a well-drilled, smart manager. I mean, Carlos Vinicius, he wasn't very good for you guys. Benfica did all right. He might score like maybe 10 would be probably a good season for him, all things considered. Adama Traore, probably about a goal. Willian Pereira.
Don't forget they've got Raul Jimenez that's signed there, right?
Yeah. He's been out of form for 2 years for club and country, though.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
Since the injury. I mean, at one point they were talking like 70, 80 million for this guy. He was on fire. I just don't know if that is the only replacement for Mitrovic. I do think
and Vinicius
will be. I think they'll be hard to beat. I just think that they're going to be a little bit lower down the table this year because I just can't see the goals, mate. I really can't.
Their main source of goals is going to be Bobby de Cordova-Reid, the Jamaican, for me. It's going to maybe be Sasa Lukic, the Serbian kind of attacking midfielder. Pereira, Willian, and then I'm thinking they're going to have to get goals from Bassi if he's ever played out at left back, bombing up. Same with Anthony Robinson. I obviously American. I do like him. Adebayo can get a few headers here and there, I think. But I think, yeah, defensively, I don't worry about them. Leno, to be fair, has been a good goalkeeper.
Yeah, he's been an excellent signing.
So I don't worry about them relegation-wise because I think they'll keep enough clean sheets and whatnot. But, yeah, I'll go 3-2 Fulham. It's happened 3 straight times, so.
Me too. I'm going to go with a 2-2 draw. I think that both these two teams might draw quite a lot of games this year. Brentford, for me, listen, they were very good, as I said, in the low block. I didn't think much of them as a footballing team. Again, game one, that wasn't their game plan. So I'll be really interested to see what happens when they come up against. I wouldn't think Fulham would be as good as Spurs in terms of as much of the ball, players like James Maddison, that type of thing. So I'm going to go with a 2-2 draw. So I've gone 3-3 and 2-2. I'm going for all the draws so far. But let us know in the chat, people. Fulham at home to Brentford. What's the score going to be? We've got Arsenal for Life has said 2-2. David Calvino has said 1-1 at the Cottage. Mark Cook said, think Fulham too good on home soil for Brentford. In my opinion, 1-0 Fulham. Mark thinks that Fulham are going to be the 1-0 kings. It'll be 2 1-0s in a row for him. El Dante, big up, I said, please like the stream and subscribe if you're new. Thanks to all those that already have. Thank you very much. And yeah, we are 73 away from the 10K. Yurav said Willian is going to be where the goals come from.
Yeah, could be, and assists as well. And I think when he's on the pitch compared to a De Cordova-Reid, it's different because sometimes his starting position, Willian, compared to De Cordova-Reid, is a bit different. Like if you're on the break, especially, I feel like Willian wants to kind of receive it edge of the box, whereas De Cordova-Reid likes to get in behind. So that's a good option, to be fair, to have. So I like both of them. They're decent.
Yeah, me too. I think they're such a good, as I said, they're a well-oiled team. I just do worry that they haven't got enough goals. Hit the bar said 2-1 Brentford. Mark says a set piece will win it. Very detailed from Mark. Yuvraj 2-2. Ian 2-2. Everyone's jumping on my 2-2 bandwagon. 2-1 to Brentford, and Sean Smith's gone 1-1. Now let's move across 3-1 to Brentford from MH _ on top. Let's
shout out Twitch viewers as well.
Twitch viewers, man. Twitch viewers. Yeah, he's the only Twitch viewer. So big up to MH on top. Everyone else is from a YouTube. Steve, the biggest of the 3 o'clock games, I would say, would be Liverpool, first game of the season at home to Bournemouth. Now, Bournemouth started with a 1-1 draw against West Ham. Liverpool started with a 1-1 draw. Was it 1-1, 2-1? 1-1 draw with Chelsea. Interesting one. Bournemouth have made a few signings.
Yeah.
I think they've made some
good
signings.
Yes. I'm very impressed. Very impressed.
But Liverpool surely won't they have just a little bit too much for them at Anfield? Tough place to go. What do you reckon?
I think there's got to be shockers in this. There has to be some shockers. I think, especially with the way Bournemouth want to play under their new manager. What's his freaking name? Andoni Iraola. Raya Economy did a very good job. I like the football they play. They're gonna be a neutral's favorite. They are going to be a favorite for people to watch. I think on the break you've got pace and Semenyo. Kluivert off the bench. I think finally we're seeing Solanke how we think he would probably pan out. Maybe not the superstar level. He's getting better and better for Bournemouth with every passing year, in my opinion. I think he fits.
Yeah, he's getting
more on the break with Django Ouattara. I really like him. Alex Scott could make his debut. They've got a neat little team. Tavernier as well. Again, pace off the bench. I'm going for 1-1. Going for 1-1.
I mean, that's a big call. I've got a feeling, listen, I like some of the signings Bournemouth have made.
Yeah.
I get the feeling, though, that Liverpool, after the start they had, where they were pretty underwhelming. I thought the first half, Liverpool played pretty well and were the better team. Second half, I do think that Chelsea started to dominate. Now, the question is, and if there's any Liverpool fans in the chat, can Endo play tomorrow? Was he signed in time?
Oh, the 12 o'clock. Oh, the 12 o'clock. Isn't it 12 p.m. deadline on a Friday?
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, look, even without Endo at home to Bournemouth, this would be a real shock if if Liverpool didn't win. I know you're going for 1-1, but this would really set alarm bells ringing amongst Liverpool fans, wouldn't it? If they didn't
Do you
win.
remember what happened last time Bournemouth played Liverpool?
Wasn't it like 9-1 or something, 9-0 or something?
It was a 1-0 Bournemouth win. Bournemouth and Liverpool split last year. Remember 1-0 where Salah missed the penalty?
Yeah, but at Liverpool, it wasn't
9-0
right.
at Anfield, yeah.
Right,
I don't think it's going to be that bad. I don't think it's going to be that bad. But, hey, Bournemouth have on occasion picked off Liverpool since they came into the Prem. Only twice, but those were two pretty famous wins for them. I'll go for a bit of a surprise. They did draw 2-2 in 2017 as well, if I'm looking at head-to-head, so it has happened before. Yeah. I'll go for a bit of a shocker. I'll go 1-1.
I'm going to go with 4-1. I think Liverpool are going to find their shooting boots. I think they might start Darwin Núñez tomorrow, and I think he might grab himself a couple of goals. Salah as well. Look, I think these are the games where Liverpool will thrive. The question for me is, how is their midfield going to cope against the bigger teams? And as we saw last week against a Chelsea team that didn't even have Caicedo and Lavia, they struggled in that midfield area. So we will see. People in the chat have gone for Vinny's gone 2-1 Liverpool. Ian 3-1 Liverpool. Arsenal for life has gone 3-1 Liverpool. Snipes has just said Romero will start for Spurs. Postecoglou says he's fit and ready.
Cool.
David Calvino 4-1 Liverpool. 4-1 Liverpool. 4-0 Liverpool. Mark Cook thinks Liverpool may take time to break them down, but 4-1 in the end with a Salah hat-trick. 3-1, 3-1, 3-2. So, sorry, this was Endo can play. Is that what you were saying, Yuvresh?
Endo
can play.
Endo.
Bournemouth will get destroyed. Smoking Endo, sipping on gin and juice. El Dante said, that was 360 Parkers last match for Bournemouth. 360 Parkers. Look, lots of people going for the Arsenal win. I'm guessing.
A Liverpool win.
A Liverpool win. I'm guessing this is going to be that coupon buster, according to Steve, where everyone goes for Liverpool, but he thinks Bournemouth will win. So Steve's gone 1-0. I've gone 4-1. And let's see what happens tomorrow. The next game in the Premier League, Steve, is quite an interesting matchup, really. Wolves at home versus Brighton. Now, two very different styles of play. Wolves are very much sit back, solid defensively, try and hit on the counter with Neto, Ait-Nouri, Cunha, Núñez.
Joao Gomes got forward a bit too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sarabia.
Brighton, though, are the complete opposite. Brighton are pressing, keep the ball, pass, move. This is going to be a real interesting matchup of styles. What's this game going to be all about, Steve?
I think it's going to be, again, Wolves missing chances and Brighton taking theirs. Brighton used to have this problem. When they first got promoted, I think the year we got promoted, so that was what? 17-18 was Newcastle, Brighton, and I think either Fulham or Aston Villa, or maybe it's neither, whatever. We came up with them, and their first few years, Brighton, they would finish 17th, 15th, 12th because they would play good football under Graham Potter, but the shooting boots just weren't, it wasn't working out. Yeah. They fixed that up, and then some under De Zerbi. I mean, I sent, in one of the WhatsApp chats we're in, I sent a video about De Zerbi talking about the pass, talking about just play and the passing, how you hit a ball, the power on it, the positions you pick up, how you handle the ball, the position you're in. I mean, this guy is a footballing madman. I love the way it's so cool. So, and you know what? You see that on the pitch with Brighton. They're very, very technically gifted, pretty much all of them. And they come from different places all around the world. Some players like Veltman from Ajax, Champions League, European experience, Dahoud, Milner, the same. And then you've got really, really young kids. So it's a really nice mix and match of kind of players. So, yeah, I like the way they play, man. Who doesn't? Who doesn't? So, but yeah, I do think this will be a case of Wolves missing chances. It'll be a good game, but it'll be 3-0 Brighton. And an interesting stat about Brighton, by the way. Where is it? I literally saw it. Okay. Found this on Twitter from Andy Naylor, BHFC. He's like a Brighton reporter. Brighton continue to be the top entertainers under Roberto De Zerbi. The 4-1 win against Luton increased the total number of goals in his 33 Premier League games to 114 goals scored and conceded, the most of any club across the Italians' reign. So in the past 33 Premier League games for Brighton, there have been 114 goals.
In the games they're involved in.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Well, look, they try and play football the right way.
Yeah.
They look like they've picked up from where they left off last year.
Yeah.
I saw them in pre-season. They looked excellent there as well.
Yes.
Pedro looks to be a signing that's gone completely under the radar, and he looks a real good player. You've got Ndingra as well. He just had a loan at Union Saint Gilloise, I believe.
In Belgium. Yeah.
And now he's back. So listen, I think Brighton are going to win this 2-1. I'm going to go with Brighton. Another team I do worry, like Fulham, I worry where Wolves are going to get their goals from. When I say worry, I don't support them, but you know what I mean? I think if I was a Brighton fan, a Wolves fan, I'd be really, really concerned as to where the goals are coming from this year.
With Brighton, it's everywhere, man. And I like the fact you point out Joao Pedro. For me, he was one of their better players in preseason when I got to watch them. Yeah. Because Pedro would receive the ball back to goal. He could spin. He could power through. He could take a touch and create separation. He can link up play. Like, this guy is just an all-around footballer. Very, very smart. You see exactly why they signed him. So, yeah he's good, bro. Wow.
Yeah, listen, he's a good player. I saw him come on against Chelsea in a preseason game, and he tore them apart at the back. So so I'm going 2-1, and you were going with
3-0 Brighton.
3-0 to Brighton. Okay, 3-0 to Brighton. That would comfortably see them, depending on other results, top of the league. I think that would see them 7 goals for, 1 goal against. Yeah. So let's keep an eye on that one, people. Yeah. Let's have a look at some of the comments in the chat. Have gone 2-1 Brighton, 2-0. Brighton, too much for Wolves, 2-0. 3-0, same as you, 3-1. 2-0, Pedro and March. Underrated, sorry, March.
I like
Vinny's gone 3. Vinny Rowley's gone 3-1. Ian just said, good afternoon, everyone watching. Hope you're well and having a great day. Big up to you as well. Here comes Dave Asprey, who wants to join in the afternoon festivities. How are you, Dave?
Yeah, not too bad, lads. Sat in the car about 100 yards from the city ground and anxious, to be honest with you. So, but it's good to see you both. It's the first time I've ever done it like on location, through my phone. So it's a bit of a getting to know you situation for me and the technology, but it's great to see you, lads.
Yes. Listen, it's great to see you, Dave. Always lovely to see your smile. Let's just quickly, we'll get your prediction then. I don't know how long you've got to be with us, but we did talk about Nottingham Forest versus
Sheffield United.
I went for a 3-3 draw. Steve went for a
2-1 Forest.
For 2-1 Forest.
Right.
What do you reckon, Dave? What should we be expecting from your mob and from Sheffield United tonight?
And then a side question: is there some needle between your fans as well? Between Sheffield and Forest? Is there a bit of needle?
To take the side question first, Steve, there is a bit of needle between us and them. Local rivals. Obviously, there's a bit of a hangover from the playoff semi-final, the 2 legs of that a couple of seasons ago. Yeah. So, there's a bit of needle. I think there always has been. Some of it's based on minor strike chance and all that kind of stuff. So, there will be a bit of an edge to it. With regard to the game, if Forest can replicate the last 20, 25 minutes at the Emirates last week, tonight, then I think we've got a good chance of picking up 3 points. But you know what? This Premier League, you can't take anything for granted. It's the first time since we were promoted back to the top flight. I think that people have us as clear favourites with an expectation to win. Now, that worries me a little bit. We had a couple of games similar in August last year against Bournemouth and Fulham, led them both, and then ended up losing them. So, me, I'm a bit old school, lads. I'm a bit worried that people think the deal is done before it's actually done. And, Sav, a 3-3 draw, mate, might not be so bizarre a notion, but I think we'll win 1-0, and I think it'll be a nerve fest, to be honest. But yeah, looking forward. It's just great. I mean, I really enjoyed going to the Emirates last week and seeing, so many of the AFTV guys, great people. Oh, wow. But it's really nice to be home again. You know what I mean? So yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Lots of talk from people about. I'm always going to butcher his name. Is it Awonyi? Awonyi. How important is this guy to your team, and what are the expectations for him to score goals this year? How many are we looking at if he can stay fit?
Well, you know what, Sav. Taiwo had a stop-start, injury-interrupted season last year. I mean, he scored the winner in our only away victory at Southampton. Yeah, and then was sort of like out for 2 or 3 months. He came back, and at the end, he was a bit of a talisman, really. I'd like to think. Excuse me, let me just turn that off. I'd like to think that with a free run and some luck, with his health, then we might get 15, maybe 20 out of Taiwo this year. He's become really important. I mean, last week, I didn't expect him to play at Arsenal last week because Cooper did his normal Cooper thing where he'll convince the media that players are more injured than they actually are. Taiwo came on, and you lads will have, the goal we scored at Arsenal was a thing of wonder. It was like pace, end product, and a lovely finish. So the expectation now on Taiwo, and that's down to him, is that he is going to be the guy to sort of score the goals. I mean, what I would say about him is had Everton had Taiwo against Fulham last week, they'd have won. If Wolves had Taiwo against United on Monday night, they would have won. So he's built a level of expectation now, and I think he's vital to our team.
So let me just quickly ask you then, Dave, whilst you've been mentioning forwards there, since then, we have done our predictions for both the Fulham game and the Wolves game. And I think pretty much the worry for both Fulham and Wolves, again, is where are those goals coming from? Two very good teams. Like Wolves get talked about like they're a poor football team. They're not. They're a very good team. They just can't put the biscuit in the basket. No. And is that the difference between you and them in terms of a player like with the likes of Brennan Johnson and Awonyi?
Yeah, I think that is them. Goal scorers, Sav, as you know, down the ages they're difference makers. Yeah, and if you've got if you've got yourself one, then you're in business. Brian Clough said that the hardest thing to do in football is to score a goal, and if you've got a guy that can do it on a regular basis, then you've got yourself an advantage. You know what I mean? Yeah, so sure. I look at, Fulham and Wolves are a really good couple of names to bring up because both of them play really, really good football. I like watching both of them. Yeah. But obviously Wolves proved on Monday night that they lack for a striker in a game that they really should have won. Taking away all the the controversy about the penalty and whatever else. Right. And Fulham seem like they're now going to be destined to be without the best centre forward they've had for a long, long time. So, if they can find somebody to put goals away, then they'll be all right. It's for those teams, Sav, outside the real top echelon, getting a goal scorer is the key to unlock so many. But couldn't this be said? Goals.
We could say this, guys, as well, and they're not actually playing this weekend, but I've got a feeling this is going to very much be the case with Burnley as well. Now, Burnley will get away with, not just them, many teams will get away with being a wonderful passing team and scoring goals from all over in the Championship. I think they're another team where I'm not quite sure the goals are there. They had some good spells last week against City, but I didn't look at anyone in their team and go, that's the guy keeping you up. You know what I mean? So for you guys to
I was just going to say the new kid that they bought from Basel, I think will be him. Zeki Amdouni. I think he will eventually come good. But, he did struggle. He did.
Yeah. Will he get enough, though? Dave, how long are you with us for? Have you got a few minutes or are you?
About another 5 minutes, Sam. Because, to be honest, mate, I've got a raincoat on expecting it to rain. And I'm sat in the car and it's actually quite warm. So I'm probably going to lose a stone in weight seat. But it's just lovely. It's lovely to talk to you, lads. You know what I mean? About 5 minutes, mate.
Dave, you're one of my favourite people in the world. I want you to know that.
Same here.
And ignore me when I was winding up the lads yesterday about Elise in the football 12-man podcast chat. They all thought I was being a bit more serious than I was. Listen, let's talk about it. The next game, then you can stay with us for this game, Dave, and then you can go and get your whatever you're doing. Yeah. The next game is a team that I know quite well. It's Tottenham Hotspur at home to Manchester United. Now, this is the first time in a long time that a lot of Spurs fans have felt quietly confident going into a game against Man United. They didn't look anything special at all. They got the win, but I think everyone agrees they looked really underwhelming.
Awful. They were awful.
This will be the first time, I think, where we will have all the ball. I think we will do the typical Postecoglou thing and have the ball. But for the sake of being fair, which I like to think I always am, I think we will have all the ball. And it's about can we bury our chances or put the biscuit in the basket? A few people have mentioned that. It's a good one, that one. I also think, guys, let me know what you think. I think Man United down their left and our right will target Emerson Royale with the likes of Sancho and Rashford. And I think they will get joy on the break. So let me start with you, Dave. What do you think? Tottenham at home to Man U, Saturday night game. What do you reckon?
Do you know what, Sav? I fancy Tottenham to win 2-1. I really do. I watched both teams. I watched both teams last weekend, and United were like, as you say, meh, underwhelming, and kind of one decent bit of football from Wan-Bissaka got him a win. Tottenham, I liked Tottenham last weekend. I thought Yves Bissouma was outstanding. I thought Udogie looked a really good lad at left back.
Yeah.
Maddison really tried hard and put himself about. They scored 2 good goals. Tottenham. I mean, the free kick was really, really good. Yeah. I love Ange. I mean, I've been on your show, Sav, plenty of times. I love Ange's calm. He's quite tough. He's unflappable. He stood there at the weekend like an Easter Island statue at Brentford. Nothing fazed him, and he's obviously not fazed by the turmoil in the fan base and all that. And I like Tottenham. For Tottenham to go to Brentford and be on the front foot as much as they were was against my expectation. And I really fancy Tottenham this weekend.
Dave, you've been, no offense, you've been around the block long enough to know that that's how Tottenham used to play as a team, right?
Yeah.
That is what Tottenham used to do. We used to go to football clubs, play them off the park, and everyone would go, oh, Spurs play football. And then the last 5 years has been the complete opposite. And that's why some Spurs fans, I had a really good head of hair. And now my line, honestly, it was down here. It was down here. Now it's up there because of Conte. Do you think, Dave? Do you think that's how we'll start and set out? Do you think that's how we'll start and finish the game tomorrow against United? Again, having all the ball pressing in their half.
Yeah, I do, Sav. I mean, I to be honest, mate, if somebody said to me before the G-Tech last week, I thought Tottenham would get beat there. I thought they'd kind of come off the end of a 1-goal loss. I just thought they'd be so much of a work in progress under Ange, against an established side like Brentford, who kind of, even without Tony, they all know what they're doing. They're all on Thomas Frank's playbook. But I watched that game and I thought to myself, this is a really likeable effort by Tottenham. Bissouma, if they were picking their team of the weekend, Bissouma would have to be in there for me. I thought he was outstanding. And they looked quite solid at the back. And the fact that they had most of the ball there, it was almost like I'd said to him, just go and have a crack at it, lads. Nobody's expecting anything of you. And I just thought, I'm probably like, we'll probably be sat here, Monday, Tuesday, and somebody going, why did you have to go and predict Tottenham to win, Asprey? You jinxed them. But I just feel, Sav, I've got a good feeling about Tottenham this week. And the karma of the world suggests that while Manchester United had theirs on Monday night, they might not get it this weekend. So, I'm going to stick my neck out at Tottenham.
I really want. Yeah, I've gone for 2-1 as well. I said I think it'll be 2-1 Spurs, 2-2 if Romero isn't playing. But I think Romero, from what I've seen today, I think Romero is playing. And Steve, a lot of the Spurs fans are excited to see the Romero Van de Ven partnership blossom. But like Dave said, the Doji looked a beast. He's 20 years of age, I believe. Basuma, this is the Basuma we bought, right? Maddison with 2 assists in game 1, already been given the vice captaincy. Steve, Tottenham at home to Man United. What you saying, mate?
I think you're gonna rip them apart. If I'm honest, I have no idea why the odds are leaning heavier and heavier in Man United's favor. I cannot explain it because unless Man United did not play Monday night against Wolves at Old Trafford. If that was a different team, whatever. But no. For me, it's a 4-1 Spurs beatdown. You cannot play a midfield 3 of Casemiro, Mount, and Bruno Fernandes.
I
How
agree.
are you supposed to get up the pitch when Mount is so sloppy on the ball? He was awful Monday night. Awful. Bruno Fernandes, besides the pass to Wan-Bissaka, awful. Turnovers, sloppy decisions, Hollywood passes that don't ever come off. He's just that, and then they don't track back. So then it's the back line. Shaw didn't really help out Casemiro at all defensively. I think you guys could rip them apart if I'm honest. If they play that same exact lineup, which I suspect they will, because remember last year, Man United, their first 2 games, it was pretty much the same lineup. They got rinsed in both. So I think Ten Hag will do it again. He'll give him a second chance, and he's gonna put his fingers on the stove and say, "Ouch, shouldn't do that."
Yeah,
but he had his warning.
Yeah, I was going to say Postecoglou will have had the Tottenham lads watching Wolves' performance, in detail this week. Wolves gave Tottenham an idea about what to go on because Cunha just completely ran from deep and took Casemiro out of the game. If Tottenham could find somebody, maybe James Maddison, maybe Yves Bissouma, who can make those runs and have Casemiro turning. I mean, Casemiro is a wonderful footballer, don't get me wrong, but I thought he aged in that game on Monday night. He was made to look, yesterday's man a bit. I mean, he'll probably come back because he's a class act, but there's lots for Tottenham to mull on from what Wolves did on Monday night, I think.
There is. Let's play a little bit of devil's advocate as well, because listen, I've been confident as a Spurs fan before and been wrong a million times, right? It's just the way football is, right? Yeah. I do worry about Man United's ability on the counter-attack. Whilst I think that their midfield 3, for me, I don't know what they were doing, right? For me, instead of going out and get Mount, as I think that was their first signing in, wasn't it? Mason Mount was their first signing in. That, for me, should have been Amrabat or a player in midfield who controls the game a bit more.
Nana at Everton.
Not Mount. That felt like a really weird signing.
Terrible.
What I do think Man United are good at, I do think they are very good on the counter-attack. And Spurs are new high line. Guys, as I said, it is new to Spurs.
Very
under Conte, we literally sat on the goal line, right? It was like we were all packed in our own box. Now, all of a sudden, the defenders are being asked to play on the halfway line, which is lovely. We all want to watch that football. But one ball over the top, and that's where Rashford looks good. But this is where Van der Ven has been bought. Van der Ven is so quick. So this should be an interesting matchup. And that's why I was on the fence between 2-1, 2-2. But hey, if you boys think we're going to win, I'll take it. And
you'll win with some style.
United for life is not happy.
Not that I'm any great judge, mate. You know what I mean? But listen, on that really cheerful, and Sav, you know what, mate? I'd love Tottenham to win for you, mate, because you've spoken so much sense in the face of so much nonsense over the summer, and that's from an outsider's point of view. I hope you get the win, and I think it'd be brilliant. So I'm gonna sign off by saying Tottenham Hotspur are going to win at the weekend, Sav, and leave you with that, mate. All right.
You know what, Dave? Listen, thanks so much for coming on, and because of you. I think more and more people now actually take an interest in Nottingham Forest results. Yes. Whenever I see a result now, I go, "Oh, Dave will be happy."
Dave will be pissed.
The thing is, Sam, I do that with Steve's teams, but there are so many I kind of lose track. Do you know what I mean?
I'll send you a list.
Stephen is free on your team. Enjoy,
love
Dave.
to London and love to America, and I'll see you boys soon. Take care. Great to talk to you.
Enjoy the match.
Bye. Bye.
Come on, you fucking trees.
Yeah. Steve, if you swear on my stream again, I'm going to... Please don't. I'll get demonetized, man. Don't.
Sorry.
This is my business now. I can't be losing the demonetization on the
No,
stream.
my bad.
Benjamin the Gaffer said, you guys don't think Ten Hag can turn things around. No one said that. Well, Steve's saying, no, I'm not saying that. Just wait for Rashford's counter-attack in the first half. Listen, that, as I've said all along, that's my worry. Of course, Ten Hag can turn it around. I just don't think that midfield three you've got, I don't think that's a good midfield three. Not saying the players individually are bad. It doesn't work. It doesn't work as a three, does it, Steve? Like Mount and Fernandes in the same team? Surely you've got to have one of them in there.
They play way too high up. Like I said, they were turning the ball over, making these low percentage Hollywood passes. They were pretty careless. Some of the crosses, there was a moment where Mount actually got into the box, made a decent run, and then the cross was awful. It was like it was literally near the top of the box. It was awful cross, and it happened a few times. I don't rate Mason Mount really at all. Bruno Fernandes as a footballer, no, never, not for me. What is he though? He's effective. He will get you goals and assists. So I guess on that basis, yes, I rate him over a Mount, but no, not as a Mount is just not that guy. Bruno Fernandes will work hard for you, but you want him going forward, surely. So I completely agree with you. That midfield three just don't work because Casemiro is on an island and the guy's 18.
I mean, AE, when you said defensively United are good, I mean, listen, they may not have conceded the other night, but I thought they were all at sea. I thought Wolves swarmed all over them, and I don't think they didn't concede because they were good at the back. United for Life is mirroring that and saying defensively United are good. I don't fear frontline one bit. Listen, I'll be honest. At the moment, other than Rashford, I don't really fear yours.
Garnacho is a good player. He's still young, but he definitely, there is something in him. We see it. My big problem with Manchester United right now is Marcus Rashford's not a striker. You play him on the left, but if you want to squeeze Garnacho in, you have to play him on the left because Anthony takes the right wing spot. That's my biggest problem because Rashford as a striker, no, doesn't have the presence for it at all. Off the left, in behind, hell yeah, he'll get you goals.
This guy's an idiot. He keeps coming in and just saying, so I'm learning now and I'm just removing people rather than giving them airtime. What an idiot. Why can't people just come in and talk football, man? We're giving you a platform to talk football. Talk football. Perchy TV, big up, who's going live straight off this, said, we love you, Dave. Let's move on from Tottenham versus... by the way, so I went for 2-1 Tottenham. What are you going for?
4-1 Spurs.
4-1. Wow, we're going 4-1. By the way, big up everybody. A little pop-up show today. There's only 113 likes. There's 240 of you in here. Let's get at least another 50 likes, shall we? And thank you to the 3 people that have subscribed. We are now only 70 subscribers away. 70 from the 10K. Jordan Hargrave has said, this is a typical overreaction with one game played. This screams a bounce back from United and a regression from Tottenham. Jordan, I think the thing you'll find is Spurs will play how we played against Brentford. What Spurs have got to figure out is how do we get in behind teams? I think that was difficult against Brentford because they played so many men behind the ball. I don't think Man United will. What Man United need to figure out is that midfield and what is their best front three as well. So it's going to be an interesting matchup. I don't think there's been any overreaction. People are just, I've said 2-1. I don't think that's inconceivable.
We were just analyzing the one game played. We can't say you were terrific and brilliant and you're on to a Premier League title and none of that nonsense. That midfield 3, poor.
Yeah.
That's all.
Look, I'm not saying they can't win. I'm not saying they cannot win.
Well, I think they could too. You're Spurs, man. You know this.
I'm fully aware of. Listen, nothing would surprise me tomorrow. Spurs could win 3-0. We could lose 3-0. I'm not one of these fans. You know me, Steve, that I'm not sitting there going guaranteed win. I just think we could nick a win. Let's see the other games going on tomorrow. The evening kickoff, Steve. is Man City versus Newcastle. We're going to rattle through the next 4 games in 2 minutes each. So 2 minutes, Man City, Newcastle at Man City. They started with a 3-0 win. Newcastle started with a 5-1 win. 2 of the top 4 from last year. What are we saying?
This is a must-win for Newcastle United. This is a must-win because this is our best chance. Our record at the Etihad is absolutely it's crap. It's awful. I think we've lost 7 or 8 straight times. I've seen us beat Manchester City once, and I think that was either under Rafa or Steve Bruce. It was either 17-18 or 18-19. We won 1-0 late through an Isaac Hayden goal at St. James's Park, and that was it. The rest have been Man City wins. We drew last year and then lost at the Etihad. We're not very good at the Etihad. But this is a chance of a lifetime, to be honest. This is the chance to make a statement to the Premier League for all the people saying that we might be a 6th or 7th place team. This is a huge chance because from what I heard, I still have to rewatch the Super Cup game. I might not get to it, but I heard that Man City were not at their best, really. Same thing against Burnley. So, and some City fans are worried about Newcastle. That's crazy. Because
let's be honest, though. Let's be honest. I think the thing is, when we're saying Man City weren't at their best, Man City are never at their best in August.
Yeah.
They're never at their best in September.
Yeah.
But what Man City did do the other night is this. Bear with me 1 second. I'm just going to find this for you. What Man City did do, it was Wednesday night, right? Was it Wednesday night?
Yeah.
It was Wednesday the 16th. What they did do, why can I not find it anywhere? The Europa Conference League, no. The EFL Cup, no. Why is this? I can't find it anywhere. What they did do is have about 30 shots on goal and about 75% possession. And, they grew into the game. They got stronger and stronger and stronger. I think it's going to be a real open game. I think you're going to see a lot of goals. And this, for me, I think Man City will edge it, but I do think this will be about 3-2, if I'm honest.
I'm going 3-2 as well. But for me, again, I think this is a massive opportunity to make an early statement, just like last weekend. For me, I before the season started, I put Newcastle second. I don't want to finish second because that's one off the title. So if it's not a flex that I'm putting us second. It's not a desirable position for me. Yeah. But these kind of results, I do think that would separate us from contending for the league or winning it. If we win at the Etihad, I'm going to get hyped up a little bit and then I'll chill out. But yeah, this is a chance to make a statement. While Man City, historically, you're right, they don't start off the greatest in August, September. John Stones and Silva apparently are out injured, Guardiola said. So we'll see about that.
Who's out injured?
John Stones and Bernardo Silva.
Yeah, okay.
They might so they're out, but I mean they do have depth. And then apparently Ruben Diaz might make it. So but yeah. I think I'll go 3-2 Man City. I think we'll put in a great performance though. Should be a good game. Really
Gary Joseph saying Man City not their best is Atletico Madrid. What? Sorry, man, you're way off here. Even Man City not at their best have all the ball, create, nearly score. No, this is not the one. Sorry, this is not the one.
Atletico Madrid have been playing more offensive, by the way, Gary. So
I like this. The same person that just said to us, aren't we being reactive from one game for Man U?
Yeah.
Now saying, do we think City are vulnerable this season? No Mahrez, De Bruyne or Gundogan. If there was a time to challenge City for a title, would it be this year? I heard this last year. I heard this the year before. I hear this every time Pep Guardiola sells a few players. I hear this is the time. They're going to be weaker. Let's say it as it is. He's just added Kovacic. Yeah. He's added Josko Vardio. Foden has got 1 more year's experience. So has Alvarez. Cole Palmer looked excellent the other night for Man City.
Yes.
They're going to buy a couple between now and the end of the window. I can't see anything but Man City winning the league again. I'm sorry. I can't see past it. Can't see past
me too.
it.
No, me too. And I think Jesus. I do think I'll go 3-2 Man City probably. But I think, like I said, I think we'll put in a good performance. I think it might just fall. It might just towards the end. It might be a late City. Like I said, our record at the Etihad is awful. awful.
Yeah.
So I'll give them the benefit of the doubt.
Let's move to the next game. Aston Villa v Everton. For me, I think this has got 4-0 Villa. I think they're going to want to come back home, lick their wounds, and I think Everton are dreadful. I think they're a really poor football team. I'm going to go 4-0.
I'm going to go 2-0 Everton. Or sorry, Aston Villa, Jesus. Yeah, I'll go 2-0 Aston Villa. Fun fact about this game, this is the most played game in English football history. They've met something like 100 and I forget the exact number. It was something crazy like 200 times because both of them have been around a lot and in the first division a lot. So, yeah, this is the most played fixture in English football history. There you go.
Well, two historic teams playing in this game. I'll be honest, I can't really see anything. I can't see anything but an Aston Villa home win. I don't think that was the norm for Aston Villa last week. I think they will sort it out. Unai Emery's too good a manager. I think they'll come back. I'm going to go with 4-0.
Yeah, 2-0. I think they might miss a few chances, but 2-0, 4-0. I just don't think Everton stand a chance.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Diaby to grab a goal or two, and I hope he does because he's in my fantasy team. So
what a player.
Next one, interesting. Yeah. West Ham at home to Chelsea, which is the late kickoff on the Sunday. West Ham home to Chelsea. West Ham drew with Bournemouth last week. Chelsea drew with Liverpool. Obviously, Chelsea, Caicedo, Romeo Lavia, Enzo as a midfield three. I mean, I can't see past a Chelsea away win, if a 2-0 win, if I'm brutally honest. I don't think West Ham have got a lot going forward.
I can. I'm going 1-1. I think since Everton, or sorry, not Everton, since West Ham have moved to the London Olympic Stadium, they've actually done well against Chelsea at home. 1-1 draw last time, a 3-2 West Ham win, a 1-0 Chelsea win, 3-2 West Ham, 0-0, 1-0 West Ham, Chelsea 2-1. So they've only been 2 wins for Chelsea out of the past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2 for 8 Chelsea are. And West Ham actually have more wins. So actually.
But I'm just not sure this is the same. I mean, West Ham, what have they got? I look at them as an attacking outlet. And I'm just me personally, another team I look at and think, where are the goals coming from?
I mean, Benrahma. I do like Benrahma. Why would Savva like Chelsea?
I don't like Chelsea. I've just watched Chelsea sign a lot of very good footballers. So please, if you're going to be in here, I know you're from Twitch, but please grow up a little bit. Really silly. I just can't see past it. But listen, this is what we love about football. Yeah. None of our results, none of our predictions are going to be true every single time, right? Yeah. So this is.
I'll go 1-1. I'll go 1-1. Because I've seen 4 West Ham teams play better Chelsea teams over the years. And it's been a draw or even a West Ham win. So I'll go with Hammers getting a 1-1 draw. Fucking iron.
1-1 draw. Nice. And the last game, because I said I'd finish up because Perchy's going live. It's the Monday Night Football, 8 p.m. UK time. It's a London derby. Crystal Palace versus Arsenal. Arsenal looking to make it 2 wins at the beginning of the season so that they can start their title challenge off, if you will. Crystal Palace 1-0 last week.
Sheffield United away.
Sheffield United 1-0. They'll be looking for 2 straight wins. What do we make of it? At home, Palace versus Arsenal.
I think they'll get it. I'll go for a Palace 1-0. I do fancy that. I was not impressed at all with Arsenal on Saturday. I really was not. I feel like when they went 2-0 up, just like West Ham away last year for them, when they were still, it was after the Liverpool game, they took a little setback, and I think that was their very next game or whatever. They were 2-0 up, cruising, everything's fine, and then they just go into cruise control, and they try to be Pep Guardiola and just sit back and not really try to penetrate and not try to actually hammer teams. They just kind of sat back against Forest, and that almost bit them. Bit them. I could see a Palace win here 1-0. I do think there's some shocks this weekend, man.
I I would love that to be the score. I think that it will be a tight game, but I do think Arsenal's quality will show. I think they're going to win this 2-0. I think Palace have got a good midfield actually now with Chick Coyote and
Jefferson Lerma.
Jefferson Lerma, which I
on
think
his
is a good
debut.
signing.
Yeah.
Again, another team. I must have said this about 7 teams now. Another team. I don't see many goals in them. Elise's out injured. You've got Zaha's gone. A lot of pressure on
Turnover
on Eze. So look, guys and girls in the chat, just a quick pop-up hour. Please go over right now and support Perchy. Big up, Kate. We're just finishing. Please go over and support Perchy. Steve, thanks for giving me an hour of your time, mate. I really appreciate it.
Hey, no problem, man. Thanks for having me on.
Always, man. Always. And as I say, as people are leaving, come on, we are 70 away from 10K. 1K, 10K. Smash that subscribe button. Please smash the like. And as always, come on, you Spurs.